Hey guys, Cathy Iconis here with QBOchat. How are you guys doing? It's Tuesday morning, 9:30 Eastern, my regular coffee with Cathy. Let me get that up on the screen. Ooh, coffee with Cathy. Da, 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 da. I'm a dork. So, how are all of y'all doing today? I can say here, let's go this a little further so we're even out. So yeah, I'm kind of tired today, guys. I'm tired. Um, but guess what? Fallback is happening in a couple of days, and that will give us another hour of sleep, and that will make me very happy. And kiddo, my 9-year-old is home again this week with pink eye, so fingers crossed that we don't get it. It doesn't spread. But yeah, she's hanging out upstairs, having fun, I guess. Yeah, let's hope. So, how are you guys doing today? Please leave messages, comments, all of that sort of stuff. I'm going to be chatting away. Hopefully, I don't fall asleep on you because that would be a little embarrassing. What are we going to do today? Yeah, I said we were going to talk about websites, right? And I'm not screen sharing or anything here, but let me pull up. So I had a post yesterday, like Marketing Monday post of let's talk about websites. And there were some comments on there and things. So I wanted to talk about some of that stuff a little bit more. Oh, wow. There were a lot more comments. I read those, didn't I? I think I did. Yeah, so a lot more comments. And, I really think, here, let me change that to, let's talk about websites. Okay, so just talking about websites. So back in the day, before I got into accounting, I did a webmaster course, right? And oops, I went to my wrong website. So I went to a webmaster course and learned how to develop websites. Was never a pro, anything like that. Just like learned how to do that. Learned a little bit about HTML. Again, not really a pro, but I got into the design of it, the look of it. And since then, I've really done all of my own websites. I guess there's been a few exceptions over time. Right now, QBOchat, I have a digital team that helps me with that. They're Double Up Digital, and so they've helped me make it work better. So the design hasn't changed a ton. Well, maybe it has. We got the new logo and stuff, so I did that. Or I had someone do that, and we have a new look and feel and everything, but it's still, the content, the layout, which is not my favorite on the layout, but all these things that I pay attention to on the site. So I've done that. The Iconis Group website, that one is pretty much all me. Have played around with that too. So yeah, so I know a little bit about websites. I'm by no means an expert. Let me tell you guys, it's just my opinion on stuff. So I wanted to share that sort of thing today. So what are things that you should have and you shouldn't have on your website? So looking at, I'm going to use my example, iconisgroup.com as an example. And right off the bat, there's a lot of white. White space is good, but there's a lot of white. and I haven't been paying attention to the site in a while because I've been working so much on QBOchat. But I think the biggest thing is you want to know who your target audience is. You want to know how they're going to find you. What is the landing page that you send them to? So you can have your home page as like the introduction, so people can find you through Google or if looking through stuff. But maybe you have a different page that they go to from Facebook or Twitter or wherever you want. But you kind of want it geared towards them. You want to think of, okay, what headspace is that person in when they're looking for an accountant or bookkeeper? So really think about, what are they worried about? What are they looking for? You want to do a lot more talking to them instead of telling them all about you. So I know last week we had that thread about building, what are your first conversations with clients and that sort of thing. So think about that too when you're working up your website. It's a matter of, okay, what kind of people do you want to attract? Do you want to attract people that go straight to price? That's fine to a point. I know I have pricing on my site. I have plans and pricing put on here. And but I have it in a way so that I'm kind of pricing out the cheap people so that they can see, they could see really what they're going to, what kind of stuff to expect pricing when it comes to me. So it's easier to that's, one hurdle that I don't have to go over. There was a lot, I was getting a lot in the past of people because it didn't put any sort of pricing, any sort of expectation out there on what it cost or whatever. And I was getting a lot of people that were looking for the cheapest option out there, and I was wasting time on that. But that's up to you if you want to put pricing on there or not. You guys know this. This is Build Your Best QBO Practice and QBOchat. And this is me talking to you. I'm going to say do whatever you think is the best fit for you. I'm just going to try to share what might happen when you do certain things. Okay. I would say even mine right now, it feels really big. So there was a phase a couple of years ago where everyone was doing these, what I called like slide websites. They were kind of almost like, here you have one screen and then you like scroll down and you have the next screen. So almost the feel of like a PowerPoint, which worked really well on iPads and stuff. Looking at it now, I resisted this format for a really long time because I was kind of annoyed with it. And I was like, what's going on here? Now it's simplified, right? To have these kind of like slides. And I have like 1, 2-ish, 3, 4, right? So you have like 4 things and all of them are pushing you to that pricing page that I have, like the plans and pricing. So you also want to think of the flow of your website. So I have my home page, everything. I'm giving you information of why do you want to outsource your bookkeeping on here and why we're different. I think I could probably speak more to leads as to like what their needs are and stuff like that somehow. But yeah, all the calls to action are going to learn more. It's all going to the pricing page or the plans and stuff. I mean, maybe all of yours goes to services or some sort of thing, but you want to have a clear flow for people and you don't want them to have to click a whole bunch. So think about when you're looking for a service provider for something, you look at, okay, I want to have general information about them. Okay. And I want to know quickly, what do they do? How are they going to help me? How do they work? And I swear everyone always ends up looking at the about page, right? And the about page is either useless or helpful. Let me look at mine really quick. I have a video on there, which is cool. The video probably could go on the first page so that it's something that they can interact with on the first page. I have a really small about, probably not that useful, honestly, on my page. So, but I can say when I'm navigating around, I want to have a clear way to path to get back home, path to get to whatever you need to convert them. I think you always need the contact page. It bugs me that we need a contact page, but you do. Just have a form, fill it out. You don't necessarily, like I do have my website up on, or my email address up on the top. So you could have a form on your contact page where they can send you something. Now, that means they didn't go through your normal flow, right? Or at least on my site. My normal flow is you go to the home page, then you learn more, which is the plans and pricing page. And then you go to request a free quote, which then is a new client intake form. And with that, I'm making them come up with some sort of decisions and provide me with information that will make it easier for that first call to have with them. So, and the reason I wanted to do this is because my experience, what I was trying to do is to cut down on all the time that I was having on the phone with unqualified leads that were not a good fit. If they weren't able to answer some of these questions and deal with some of the stuff, then it was just not, it wasn't going to be a good fit for me. And, you know, I'm kind of taking into those red flags that I was talking about last week with clients. So I'm like, here, pick a plan up front. Now, guys, plans can change, all that sort of stuff, but I just want you to somewhat commit to something first, right? Commit. And in my mind, on my form, it's like commit to the possibility of paying $1,000 a month. Like, yeah, let's look at that. And if you're committed to that, then okay, we can have a conversation and, you know, talk through it more. I'm actually going to fill out the form, go through the steps. And you guys feel free to do this on my website if you want to go through the form that I have. Yeah, business name, what industry are you in? What do you sell? Because I always like to know more about the business. What's your revenue, employees? Always ask, what's your biggest challenge right now? So now I got to fill this out. Hey, baby. Next. Okay. What accounting software are you using? What are you using to pay your bills? Again, trying to figure out what kind of software that they need to be using. And, you know, if they're already using Xero or desktop or something, that's going to be a bigger hurdle for me than if they're already on QuickBooks Online. Who currently keeps your books? Do you think you require any cleanup or catch up work? That's also getting them to positively say, yeah, I'm going to need some help here. Is there anything else you want us to know about the state of your books? Next. And then just put in some information, how you heard about us. And then you can submit, and that comes to me. I still think my sales approach with that could be a lot more streamlined, because you can see like who really wants to fill out that many pages of stuff. So it's balancing, filtering out unqualified people and then turning away qualified people. So maybe my form is a little bit too much and, you know, they don't want to go into it. I know on my form, so initially we had just like a whole 1-page form pretty much. But I was getting into Google Analytics and we're trying to see what conversions were and stuff like that. So we needed some sort of trigger to be able to account for the conversions, which was filling out the form, right? So the form that I had been using, which was a Google form, the way it was working, we weren't able to figure out how to create a trigger for that to know that it was completed, and then within Google Analytics say that it was a conversion. So we switched forms, and I can probably get into it, but I know on QBOchat we use Gravity Forms now. I had been using FormStack for a little bit, but FormStack doesn't work well with my theme on my website, my WordPress theme. So we ended up using Gravity Forms because it works. So that's a lot of information. I'm throwing out a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, Brett. What's up, Cathy? I'm actually catching this live. Yay! I'm all over the place right now. I'm talking about website stuff, and I'm all over the place. I feel like I am possibly speaking a foreign language to people about website stuff, because I'm into all the specifics of things. So let's talk about, I gave you the general idea of let's have an idea of how the user is going to your site and how are they experiencing your site. Is it easy for them to get through? Is it something that encourages them to sign up, that answers their questions, that, think about all the things when you're talking to leads. Are you helping them make that decision on your website so that you don't have to necessarily do as much on the phone or in person later? The more we can automate this, just like any part of our business, the better, right? So what is that experience for the user? I know I do that. I mean, I look at that constantly with QBOchat. It is a constant, how are people traveling through the site, and how are they experiencing the site, and are they doing what I want them to do out of it? And if not, how do I change the structure or make it easier for them to navigate within the site? That's why I was saying earlier, I still get frustrated with the navigation on QBOchat. We do have plans of changing up the menu bars on top. I have to get together to get more content and stuff together so we can organize it better. And I've only been down and out for a couple of months with the whole shoulder neck thing. Then I get the pink eye girl upstairs, all that stuff. So anyways, this all the fun things. But yeah, think about who they are, what they're doing on your site, how did you attract them? I know for let me pull up my analytics actually. So I look at my Google Analytics a lot, and I know I wrote an article for Firm of the Future at one point about using Google Analytics to kind of see how people are using your site. Let me see. I haven't looked at Iconis groups in a while. Nope. Where are we? Iconis group. So let's look at acquisition overview. So my search is kind of down. All traffic. Where are we? Behavior. I like looking at the landing page. What are the landing pages? So, wow. Yeah, that's why. So at one point in time, I wrote an article of top 5 QuickBooks Online issues with downloaded transactions, right? And seriously, that was getting me a ton of traffic. The problem was that the right traffic for me? Is it, and did I have in the article things or places to say, hey, if you want help with your bank feeds, or how can I change that into some way to suck them into like a service that I can provide them and help them out with. And I think that is another, I am all over the place. Sorry, guys. That's another thing on blogs. Let's write blogs that are going to attract people to your services and to what you do. I see so many articles and blogs out there for accounting firms that have nothing to do with attracting a lead or attracting, customers to you. And is that helpful? Yeah. Do you want to be spending your time on that to get more clicks to your site? Or do you want to be spending time to attract potential customers? Because if you're writing articles or you're sharing, or you're reading articles or something like that, that relates to how your clients feel and answering questions for them, then that's good content for you to share on social media and all of that sort of stuff. Now that might counteract the SEO play and getting higher up on the results. I've been out of that world long enough. I'm not great on that. I told Double Up, my friend Cully at Double Up, like 10 minutes ago I was going live. No, well, 10 minutes before 9:30 that I was going live. So he could join us, but yeah, I didn't give him much warning at all. So that's cool. But and maybe we can go into SEO and how that all works later on with someone, with them or whatever. But let's go back to basics. Let's build a website that just talks about, what your clients are dealing with, how you're helping them, how do you plug into them to make life better? What kind of services you have, what things should they expect, what shouldn't they expect, that sort of stuff. Do they want you to come to the office or do you not? Like those sorts of things. Like, let's go ahead and just get those questions out of your conversation for the first time when you talk to them. And then talk about the flow of, okay, how do I, it's a sales flow of, okay, I attracted someone to my site, usually from a blog or some sort of content you're sharing, right? If we're going digital from the digital sense versus just giving someone a card and saying, here, look at my website, right? So if we're creating content to attract people to the site, then what do they do when they get to the site? How are they, what's coming at them? What do they see? How do they know where to go to sign up with you and buy whatever you're selling? Do they even know what you're selling? Are you attracting the right people to your site? All of those things, right? Because you kind of just want to make your site like this living thing where it's this extension of you and they can feel you through the site so that they're comfortable when they start talking to you. It's like, oh, I feel like I already talked to you. Maybe you have a video on your site talking about stuff and telling them, how you do things and that sort of thing. And, YouTube and videos is huge right now. So yeah, have I been all over the place? There's a lot to talk about websites. I forgot all about that. I focused so much on the QBO training that, yeah, I was like, let's just talk about websites today. No big deal. Yes, it kind of is. Website is kind of a big deal. And think about it. If you don't have a website or if it doesn't look right, it doesn't have to be that big of a deal, guys. It just can't look like from the early 90s, like when I was trying to develop websites myself. You can use things like Wix, I think. I know I actually have a client that does a lot of programming software kind of stuff, and they use Wix because they're not in the web development stuff. They don't need to be. They just need something really simple, right? And just, I mean, it's kind of an enhanced business card, right? I mean, we were just talking about it. It's a matter of, okay, how do I get someone in and convert them to contact me? We just want that. We want that get to the site. How do you contact me? I mean, and you have to convince them to contact you. That's what we're going for, right? So that's one. I use WordPress, which you can do a lot more things with, and you can get a really, really big headache with, depending on your theme and whatever. So WordPress is kind of the platform. And then you have a theme that says, okay, what can you do with the platform? And how can you customize it and whatever, that sort of thing. So I've worked with several different themes, and you get a headache trying to figure out what your theme is and how does that work. And then, you know me, my OCD stuff, I get to the point like, oh, I can't do this. So then I have to find another theme and let's learn everything over again, because I need to have control of my website. I need to have complete control of what's going on, and feel like I can fix things and develop things the way that I want to. So it's a big deal that I have people that I trust to help with my website now. It's huge, actually, because in the past it's been really, really hard. I have preferred to go with a little bit more ugly of a site, just so that I can have control on the back end of how that's all working. But WordPress, it can be easy or hard. I know I like the Divi theme on that, Divi on WordPress. I think we're using Beaver Builder or something for QBOchat. I don't know. Or there maybe double ups builder. No, appearance themes. What do I got? Yeah, we're on Beaver Builder for that. So, I mean, that one works. There's free themes, and then there's paid for themes. You probably want to go with something that's paid and that gets updated and has good reputation on things. Then when within WordPress you have the themes, and then you have plugins that kind of attach to the themes. Kind of think of like little apps that are attaching to it that do different things on there. So like I said, I use Gravity Forms, which is now a plugin within my theme, my Beaver Builder theme, so that I can put in, I can create forms and put them all in there onto the site wherever I want them. I have WooCommerce on here, but I haven't used it yet. So maybe I want to use that in the future. Hint, hint, maybe I'll do things. I'm trying to think, like, what other plugins do I have? I have a lot of crazy plugins. Yeah, so I have the Form Stack plugin, Gravity Forms, MailChimp integration, so it goes to my list on MailChimp. A lot that the guys put on there. And then Yoast SEO. You can get a free version of Yoast SEO, which will help you kind of build SEO onto your pages and your post and all that sort of stuff. So that would help. Yeah, I really don't have that much plugged in, which I think is probably a good sign, because that means that the theme is doing a lot for me. When you have to go searching for plugins, you have to, again, it's kind of like apps.com or whatever. Well, it's not even apps.com. Yeah, you have to like look for what are good plugins and are they going to interact with your theme? Are they going to break it? Are they going to do whatever? So it can be a little much. So talking about all that, yeah, Wix might be a good option for people because it's just there. Or, maybe at some point we help you guys just develop like, little websites, like like a 5-page website or something like that. I know the biggest thing for me is always getting the wording right. The wording, that's the hardest part of really kind of explaining what I want. How do I want to communicate with people? What is like the sales pitch? That's not too salesy and all that sort of stuff. It's back to that persuasion of getting them to, like, we can work on things to get them to the site. That's one thing. But when you're looking at the website, it's like, okay, how do I get this website to function for me? Not just to be, not just to be sitting out there. You don't want it to be wasted space. So how do I get this thing to work for me? And I hope it's a strategy. We got to look at it that way. Does that make sense? I'm babbling. Sorry. I watched a Facebook Live last night of someone babbling. I feel a little guilty right now. So, I haven't had enough sleep recently, and I haven't had enough time for work recently. So it's been awesome. So if we don't have any other questions, I can wrap it up. I'm glad you guys joined in. I want more comments. I need more comments in here. Let's see. Oh, and if you didn't see my post, I am not going to QuickBooks Connect this year. I am just not physically there yet. And it really sucks. And hey, if I talk about it too much, I can cry about it. That's good TV, right? But no, my neck and shoulder, it's doing a ton better, but I'm still sitting around the house. I'm not really active. And when I am too much, in a day, then then it hurts. And so I just can't even fathom getting on a plane. I haven't carried a backpack in months, and I would have to be walking around with a backpack on all the time, like right here where I got injections and stuff. I can't. And walking around the conference room floor and all this. And even so, going to my daughter's softball games, having to look around at all the people and the conversations and stuff, it just drives me crazy. And I can't sit in the right places, like certain seats. Yeah. So could you imagine? I just can't physically yet. But thank you, Sharon, for letting me get better soon, telling me to get better soon, letting me. I'm tired. What is wrong with me? Brett, thank you for telling me I did good. Learn about gravity forms. I know it's one I hadn't really used before, but the guys were like, hey, can we just use gravity forms? We know it works on here and stuff. And really what they do too is the big thing is if you want to track this stuff within like Facebook ads or Google or whatever, when you have the forms and they submit them, you want some sort of trigger. And I don't really know how they set it up, but they can. So that when you go back to analytics in your Facebook ads and stuff like that, you can see how successful things were because they filled out the form. And that was we're having problems with FormStack in the Beaver Builder theme. So that wasn't working. The Google form worked for a while, but it didn't help with that setting up that trigger. We weren't able to do that. So that's why we went to Gravity Forms on those two. So I think they got me over to Gravity Forms faster on Iconoscript than they did on QBOchat. Just the way it works, but I don't know how much it costs. It's part of their deal with me. So I'm still paying for FormStack. Let's talk about that. Not really. I need to cancel that subscription. But I'm still trying to figure out how to handle it because I do the reseller stuff for QuickBooks, and I need to capture credit card information. But so FormStack was the only one that kind of allowed me to do that. Now they're changing their policy, so they're not. I mean, we all really shouldn't be capturing or holding on to credit card information. So in the end, I don't know how much I'm going to do the reseller stuff on QuickBooks because it's a hard flow. You know, you guys hear me talk about workflow and stuff like that. It's making it more difficult. So, you know, if there was a form I could direct my people to for them to fill out the information and it be saved on Intuit servers or whatever, great. But somehow I have to get the credit card information to go into those forms that they have, and yeah, that's a lot. And being a reseller, it's not my number one priority, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. God, I just feel tired. I need more coffee. And I'm kind of procrastinating on work because I was going to do work yesterday. I was really there. I was starting to do some videos for some stuff I'm doing and whatever. And then I got the text about my daughter's eye still being messed up and it's still hurting her and whatever. So then we scrambled, got her doctor's appointment, sat in the waiting room for an hour because we got fit in. And it was only 95 degrees in there. Because, you know, why not have it the most miserable experience possible? And then, yeah, took another hour or whatever to get her all checked out, eyes dilated, all that stuff. Okay, I'm rambling. We're done. You should be done with me. You should really be done with me. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'm on Facebook today. I'm on Twitter. If you have any questions, reach out. I'm here for you. QBOchat is this Thursday. I think we are still doing new app intros. If I can find some new apps to do intros. It's a little busy right before QB Connect, so we'll see what we get. At the very least, we get to hang out. Yay. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Have a great day.